Okay. I think if we are already online. Yeah, let me look into the document that I prepared for the workshop. You can find it. I will link it first, so you have time to look at it. Yeah, here is. Okay. I will post it in the chat. Okay, this workshop will be focused on explaining the new tooling for building Aragon organizations using the Builder plugin. 1 second, I will. And what I, okay, sorry, I will continue. This workshop will focus, as I was saying, in the building an Aragon app using the Builder plugin. We will be using this Aragon 1 Swap workshop, and the way it's gonna be working on this is will be an Aragon app with a few customizations that we are going to walk through the whole steps to follow the to reach to the final publication of the app. So some of them some should not be there, but the important are the one that says step 1, bootstrap the app. Step 2, smart contract implementation, testing the app. A smart contract, a script hook, app frontend, and publication of the app. So, okay, to give an introduction on, those are the workshop steps. And then also, I would like to go and jump into the advantage of using Builder. And these are that allow you to improve the developer experience and rely on the latest technologies of the Builder team is building, and have more flexibility to integrate more easily with the available tools and tap into the Builder ecosystem of plugins that allow you to use several toolings really easy. As we can see in the Builder website, do you have a bunch of plugins to use, for example, Ethers or Waffle to test, or Truffle and Truffle 4 and Truffle 5, Web3, and a bunch of other that some of them we are going to tackle in the workshop. So let's go ahead now and jump into the code. Here what I did was set up an application using the npx create Aragon app and select my AraSwap name for my app, and then this is the structure that was created for me. We have an app folder with a basic application, a basic counter app that allow you to interact a bit with the smart contracts and at the front end of the Aragon UI. It gives you a basic smart contract, some script hook with a basic explanation. This we are going to touch a bit more later. A couple of tests to see how they are written, and some of the basic configuration like the Arab JSON. This is where you will configure specific things of Aragon and the Aragon app. And finally, this is an important file for our workshop. That is where you will configure the whole Builder configuration and a lot of the Aragon plugin configuration as well. And I would like now to go through the bit of configuration that we have here. And also, I'd like to mention that here in the Builder website, you can have this builder config document where you will find a lot of the information that you will need to set up this file properly. And you will have, like, for example, what you can configure in the builder EVM network, what you configure in a JSON RPC network, and how to set up your HTTP wallet, and some other C path configurations. So, for example, in here we have set up this configuration for our default network to be the local host that we will run, because we are going to run a ganache instance and not using as default the builder EVM. And then we will set up here a network. Here we can even have network, for example, Rinkeby, and start setting up some of the URLs, or even the gas setup, or other kind of setups that are described here in the JSON RPC network. You have URL, chain ID, the from address that you would like to be selected, gas price, and the accounts. This is something that I would like to focus a bit more to give you an explanation of how you can configure a specific account. And for example, you have the syntax will be something like inside the network, you will have something like this. And in this example, I selecting an array of the keys that I want to use. And these keys, for example, are the two main keys, the two private keys of the mnemonic of this default mnemonic that Aragon uses in every places. So here I'm telling the builder plugin and the builder program to set up two accounts with these private keys. And then if you also want to set up, for example, a whole mnemonic, you can do it like this. Oh, sorry, like this. And so, okay, I want to have a, sorry, I think here is an object in this case. We will have to do it like this. And tell the mnemonic that we would like to use. And in here we are choosing also the mnemonic for the default Aragon accounts that are used everywhere. And we try also to be in the builder plugin, in the Aragon plugin, to be backward compatible with the previous configurations that you set up in the root folder of that Aragon configuration. If you remember, you can. But right now we suggest to use this builder plugin in test. You can set up different keys like this in the previous Aragon CLI setup. But right now with this, you have all you need here. And even though if you have set up some of the keys the other way, we will support it in the plugin. But yeah, let's keep going ahead, not focus too much. But I would like to spend some time in this because I got some question about it. Okay, then you can also set up, for example, your compiler configuration. In here, we have to choose the one that is support for Aragon OS, and here you can also tell them which is if you want to optimize the runs of the compiler, and how many runs you want to set up. And finally, here we have the Aragon specific plugin configuration, and in here we are telling which are the ports that the app we will serve, which is the client port that we will serve, what is the app folder path, what is the build path, and the app name. And here also we are going to tell them where is the builder hooks. That is something that we will look at a bit in the next steps. And yeah, that's pretty much all the configuration that you can do. And there are we are going to see a bit more of those configurations going forward in a few specific plugins. So right now we can, if you want, we can go ahead and go yarn start and test the application. like it is right now, like the basic. Here we are going to see some of the things that are happening under the hood. We are setting up as default the mnemonic of the default Aragon account, and here the contracts are being compiled by Builder. And here, here I get this error because I got running the Aragon dev chain at the same time, and it's going to interfere with the deployment of the base contract of Aragon, like the ENS, DAO factor, that are not. So right now I'm going to do the same, and now we are deploying the bases in this. Okay, now we are here initializing the state of the app, and now we are building the app front end. And after a few seconds, we're gonna probably see this here. Okay. Okay, here is the app is loading, and now we will have the counter application, basic application, and you might have some problems with the local connection sometimes, and this is something we need to double check with the configuration of MetaMask. But if you have that problem, you can go here into advanced configurations and reset the accounts, and that should be fixed with that. And now we are connecting with the first account of the mnemonic, and you can go ahead and create a basic counter addition and see that the counter is updated, and that's the basic Aragon boilerplate that you will get. And now we are going to go ahead and start changing a bit of it. So let's stop this process. And now, what we are for doing this, you should have check out the setup one Bootstrap app tag. And now what we are going to do is continue with a few examples of a few plugins, and we are going to do test smart contracts. And what I'm doing this step first because I wanted to. I couldn't write a few tests for the smart contract that we are going to see, but I'm going to show you what I wanted to show you with testing with the basic counter app. And what I'm going to do here is show you how you can set up a couple of plugins, the builder gas reporter and the solidity coverage to have it in your setup pretty easy. As what you will have to do only is update the builder the builder gas reporter package, the solidity coverage package, and include a few of the scripts to set up. Include this. This is the script that you are gonna need for now until we builder support as default the coverage and in the builder EVM. But for now, you also need this script. That is what it does is starting the Ganache instant, and depending on the solidity coverage flag, it will start coverage or not. So the other thing that we set up here was this flag, that this is a gas reporter specific configuration of the gas reporter plugin, and we passed this process gas reporter enable. So let's go ahead and now, for example, let's run the test as default test, and this this script run the Builder EVM directly, and this is for basic test. This is nice because the Builder EVM is much more quick and much more efficient. So your tests are going to run much faster than they used to be in Truffle or other platforms. And here we are compiling the contracts, and we are going to test the two tests that we have. Once that's done, we get now the. This is a shame for now that Solidity stack traces are only supported with Solidity 0.5, and as Aragon OS is still using the previous contracts, we can have all the better goodies that the Builder team is working on. But if we manage to update them to these new versions, we are going to have much more, much more testing capabilities with the Builder plugin. So that's a great bet into the long and middle term. So now we get this, and now we are going to do gas. And what this is going to do is running the script that I barely mentioned, and is set up is going to start the Ganache CLI. As I mentioned before, this is needed because the Builder EVM is not supported yet the some of the gas reporter methods. So you need to do that with a Ganache for now. And with that super easy changes, we already have gas reporter in our contract, and we can have already this functionality, and we can also include the coverage now. We can also add coverage with the run coverage. And here we can see the difference in the. And after showing this, I'm going to show you the difference between the previous commit and these new changes. So you can see that it's really small, the changes that you need to include this functionality really easy. So now we have already this coverage set up, and let me show you the output really quick. And 1 second. Yeah, here it is. I think I have it open. I forgot. Okay, here is the coverage report. We can run it again, but you can see here that we have 83. We have the controls sold. We have 83% of the lines coverage. We can see where our contract need to be tested yet. And yeah, this is super nice. And okay, before going to the next step, let me show you the git diff. I think it was git diff step 1 above punto step 2 step 2. So we can see here the difference between the two changes. We include this sol coverage change. That is a small change to not add the test into the report. Include these use plugins that I forgot to mention, but every time you include a new plugin into Builder, you need to set it up here in the Builder configuration. And then this is something also that we need to include to have the gas reporter, because the way that the gas reporters set up the coverage set up the compilation, they need to know about these artifacts, and we don't have it in their specific path that they need. But yeah, this might probably be fixed with some specific configuration, but I couldn't find it yet. But yeah, in other way you can do it like this. Include at compilation time, the contract will be compiled and the artifact will be added. So yeah, that was pretty much. I think maybe I will add a few more changes, but yeah, the scripts and include the packages and then the script, and that's pretty much it. That the changes that you need. Yeah, the yarn log, that is super big, but yeah. Let's continue now. This let me see if I don't forget nothing about this. So okay, now we can start actually looking into the implementation of the contract that we are going to see, the ARA swap. And let me do a quick introduction for those that you don't know. What we would like to do is create an application of Aragon that behaves similar to an exchange in AraSwap. So Uniswap. So Uniswap allow you to exchange between two tokens. You can select one of them. In our case, we are going to do Ethereum and Ant, and this is going to be our app is going to only handle one exchange. So it's going to be Ant to ETH, and we will going to be able to allow people to exchange between these two pairs. And then we are also supporting liquidity showing. So people is going to be able to add liquidity to our exchange and become part of the organization and being able to decide which is the fee that they would like to charge. So if you would like to go a bit more deep, I share you I put in the document a link to the Uniswap documentation and to this document that Vincent of our team write to explain a bit better how the price behaved in this Uniswap kind of app. So okay, let's go to the next step. That is step 3. This is gonna be the smart contract implementation, and in here what we will do is just include the basic but the actual implementation of the contract. Here you will need to go a bit into the coding actually of the contract, and this is already done by Vincent. And yeah, this is most gonna be, you wanna be spending quite some time in this, and this is one of the more important parts of an Aragon application. And I would like to mention that you have like 2 steps. One step would be if as soon as you include this Aragon app implementation or extension of that you are going to implement this Aragon app, you will already get all the benefits of having a proxy contract and having upgradability, and that's really powerful already. So then you can also start working with the permission system that Aragon provides you and create even more complex schemes on top of your app. So okay, to go really quick about the contract, but not be so specific. Here we are going to initialize the app with a RC20 and the token manager that will be the liquidity providers that will be adding liquidity to the exchange and getting tokens in to be part of the organization. Then we are going to have the way to exchange between the token and the ETH, and to exchange between the token and the other way and to ETH. Then we have this add liquidity function for people to be able to add liquidity to the exchange, and we will also have the remove liquidity. Those are the main functions that you will see. If you want to go a bit more into details of this, you can review it afterwards. But what is really interesting of this example is that it allows to the token, the liquidity providers, to create this exchange governing by a DAO, and have the governance on top of the fees that they would want to charge for people using the exchange. No, so that's really interesting and powerful. So on these steps, we are not gonna go too much into detail, but now I would like to go ahead and mention a bit more about the script hooks that we barely touched in the previous steps. And this is some new functionality that we provide you the Aragon plugin itself. And what it does is some kind of a truffle script that will hook into the deployment process of the organization and the DAO when you are testing, and will allow you to tap into different steps and do actions. So, for example, in here we can do some things before the organization is deployed, or we can do some things after the organization is deployed. Then we can also provide things before the app that we are initializing get initialized, and then also tap into after the app is initialized. And finally, we can also get the initialized parameters, so to provide to the app. And this is also, every time the app is published, we will get a post-update hook to if you might need to do some changes there. So now let's go ahead and go to the next steps to see the actual hook that we implement for this app. And script hook, I think it is. Okay, so here we have the same script, but we also include a few of the hooks that we will need. So, for example, here we have some variables that we will need, and some general conversion, big example, big to big exponential, and percentage and decimal conversions. And we also have our first hook, the post DAO. So after the DAO is deployed, we will start doing things. So what are these functionalities that the hook provides you? Let me walk you through. These are global options that Builder provide you, and we expose in the hook. Those are Web3 and the artifacts, the truffle artifacts in this case. So you can have access to this without any more configuration. Then we also provide Aragon specifics utilities to help you to configure your ideal setup before deploying the app. So here we have a log that allow you to log to the console, like I will show you. And then we have this experimental app installer that is a really nice feature that we recently include, that allow you to install application from different packages in the Aragon Package Manager, and already test more complex interactions of your organization and apps. So what we do here is start by deploying a mini token. This is the one that we are going to use to initialize the AraSwap app. Then we also deploy the ANT token that we will need. And then we also install the tokens apps, because we need a token manager for this particular application to interact with. And then we do some configurations that we need to do. These are specific configuration of the token manager and how it's set up to have a mini-me. So as you can see, you can already access the functionality of the artifacts already here, like you do in Truffle, and you can already deploy the contract here and interact with the functionalities. Like we here change the controller, Then we initialize this token manager because we put it to skipping initialization to change the controller to the mini-me. Then we also install a voting app with some basic parameters of support 50%, 15% of quorum, and 7 days of voting period. And then we also be able to create permissions with the application itself. And in here, for example, we are assigning the create rows to the token manager address. And yeah, that was our setup for initialize the postDAO. Then we also are going to use the getInit params hooks to tell the app which are the parameters that we are going to initialize our function. So if we see here in the initialize function of the smart contract, we have that we need to provide a token, RC20 token, a token manager, and the initial fee percentage. So what we do here is in the Buidler hook, we say, okay, we have the address, that is what we deployed already. We have the token manager address, and we tell them, okay, let's start with a 0.3% of fee. So then after the initialization happened, we already have here another utility to tap into the proxy contract that was created under the hood by the Aragon plugin. And here you can already assign some permissions to them. And for example, here we are approve some tokens to already have a setup, all the setup already in place to start testing our app. So finally, what we do here is add liquidity with an initial amount. So we can have already some initialization, already some liquidity to start testing. And here's some switch of the permissions, and yeah, some general functionality so that you can go ahead and check more in depth. So let's go ahead and let's yeah, this is pretty much the hook that I wanted to show, and we can already run it, but it's gonna not do much because the app is not yet updated. But we can see the display here of the hook, of the hook's outputs. Okay, we have the initial configuration of accounts, and here you will see this log that we previously mentioned, that is going to be shown here. Okay, here the backend start, so the bases are deployed. And here we have the hooks that are outlined with a specific tag, that is the hook that is currently running. And for example, we have here the postDAO that is creating the mini-me and the two mini-me's and minting a few tokens to different addresses to have already a few addresses. It's gonna change the controller. It's gonna install an app, a token manager app, install a voting app. Then it's gonna start deploying the rest of the stuff that the Aragon plugin is doing. So, okay, so now we can go ahead and go to the next step, that is create our app frontend. 5, app frontend. So here what we do was with the help of Fabri from OneHive, I create an app that allow you to interact with this contract in a basic format. And let me show you a bit of the two main things that you are gonna start doing. First is the script and the state of the app. So you will have this script, background script that is running behind the scenes to build the state of the app. So we include the different commits for you can you can see here the background script logic. That is the one that we are seeing now, and then the basic UI implementation. But those are like the main topics that you are going to address when building the actual application. First, I think going ahead and try to build the state is important. And once you have that, you can go ahead and start actually including the different components. And here we have the reducer of the app state. And then, yeah, then the app itself is a bit more involved. When you need to write your own components in React and use the Aragon UI, that is really, really powerful to do that. So now let's go ahead and run the start command, and we will see the app functioning with our setup hook already in place. So we will have all we need to start working on our app and testing the different use cases. Okay, let's just in case we set this. Okay, this might take a few seconds, but let me see if we can see something in the app. Oh, yeah. Okay, it loads. So we have now the app that will have a basic example of how to display. So here we have like the AraSwap application. It will have the overview of which is the current liquidity. We have 10 ETH and 2,000 ANTs, and the fee that is currently charged in this exchange are 0.3%. And we can go ahead and do a swap. And let me see if everything is working on, just in case, because I didn't check the chat. But yeah, what I was saying here is that you can select, as we do in Uniswap, select which is the pair that you want to change. If you want to change ETH to ANT or ANT to ETH. So let's go ahead and change one ETH to ANT, and we want to swap. And once we confirm this transaction, this is going to be updated, hopefully. Okay. This is strange. Let me see if we go ahead and change this. Okay. Okay, the swap was done. We should have seen the purchases here with the swap, but let me see if I can see why it's not loading. But yeah, this might be a good chance to show you that the browsers are really powerful tools to test any application actually, but for our own apps is also really helpful. So it doesn't seem we have any problem, but just to show you the power of the debugger, we can go into the sources, and you can have here the local host that is running. And if you go here, you will see, okay, we didn't have localhost running. Maybe that's the problem. Let's see. localhost 81. Yeah, this is running fine. Okay. Okay, let's, maybe I can't show you here, but let's try once more. Okay. Okay, this is ready. Let's see. Okay, now it's loading. But yeah, we have like the buyer that is the root account that is exchanging one ETH to 182.21 ants. Let me see if I can see the app frame here. Yeah, here in localhost we have the information that the app, and we can go ahead, for example, here and see, okay, we want to go to the app folder, sorry, and see, for example, okay, I want to see what is happening in this specific line of code, so we can reload here, and the browser is gonna stop there, and you can check already the what is the information that is stored there. But yeah, okay, it doesn't work, but maybe, yeah, here it is. So we can have here, and we have all the information of the context of and we can go and see what is the values of every component, and yeah, just in general, have much more context of the problems. So let's continue now with the example. Now we can go ahead and try to swap the other way. So let's swap 15 ants. And this time, what is going to happen is going to request us 2 transactions, because we need to approve the tokens first. And let's do that. And what is really nice about this setup is that we already have everything configured by the hook, and that's really nice because you don't have to create new scripts for every time, and you already have all you need. So here now it's working fine. So we have the second exchange, and we can see that the other exchange that happened. So let's see now what is the other thing. Okay, this is pretty much what I want to show in the app. So now finally I would like to show you the publication of apps. This is other, because as we see, we already been using a lot this yarn start command, that what it does is the npx builder start is the other way to run it. This is a builder command that we create for the Aragon application hook. Aragon application plugin. And yeah, you only have to do that, and you will get already. I forgot to show you, but you already get the hot reloading of the application and hot reloading of the smart contracts. That is super nice, and you just run yarn start, and that's it. You don't have to think about other things. Just build your app, and everything will get handled for you. So yeah, that was for the configuration. Let's try to do now the application of the app. This app, we already reached the point that we think it's ready to be published to the Aragon Package Manager. So what we need to do is first run a IPFS daemon to start to upload the files to IPFS. And we also, for localhost, we are gonna run the Aragon dev chain just to test the publication. And here is already running anyway. Sorry. Let's do now the other command that we have is yarn publish. So we can do yarn publish nature, and we will do the publication in the local change that we have already with all the setup apps, all the setups bases for in the Aragon dev chain. So in here, what we are doing is deploying a new implementation contract. We are running the app build script to build the app, and if we see here, this is the folder that is created with all the metadata, and we also create the artifacts of your application that have all the information of the app to be interacted with afterwards, and the roles and the name and all you need. We also have the manifest with the information of the app metadata, and yeah, the icon also. But yeah, this is built in this process, and after is built, it will get an IPFS hash that is uploaded to IPFS, and yeah. So okay, we are generating the Aragon app artifacts. We upload the release to the IPFS, and now we have the release assets that are here in this IPFS, and we have all the information displayed. That we have the transaction hash that was sent, we have the status, and we can even do a dry run of the. When we do npx public measure, we can do, for example, a dry run, and what this will do is deploy the contract, but instead of publishing the app, we'll show you the transaction data that you will need to send offline or at some point into the to publish the app. This is important because you might want to be sure that the content that you are delivering to the end user is available. So you might want to go ahead and get the IPFS hash and go to Piñata or some other pinning service and pin your hash. And once you are sure that you have your content pin, you can go ahead and submit the published transaction and publish the app into the Aragon PM contract, Aragon PM registry. But yeah, at that point you will be sure that the app is not going to be the content of the app is not going to be unresolved by the end user. So now this is the other output that you can get. You will get the IPFS hash, but this time we get the transaction data that you can go ahead and submit via MyCrypto or other provider that you would like. So okay, let's try also to do a publication with yeah. Let me check out the last steps to make sure the changes that I include here, the publish app, and do a git diff of the changes to be sure that I don't missing anything that I wanted to show. Step 5, this was app frontend, and 5, 6, publish app. So, this is something that I was also wanted to show you, but when I was testing, I couldn't make it work yet. And this might be probably that I couldn't configure it correctly. But other plugin that is really nice that the Builder ecosystem have is the Etherscan plugin that allow you to verify your contracts automatically when you deploy them. So we already support that in the publish process, but this configuration needs to be checked to be sure it's correct. But what we will do here is, for example, in Rinkery, if we are going to publish in Rinkery our app, we have to make sure that the app is into the open registry, because to be in the official registry, you need permissions, of course. And we can try it if you want to see what is the problem that you can get. For example, if we do here network and Rinkery, what will happen is that we will try to publish this app, but to the main registry, and of course we can't do it because only the official team can do that. But what we will do is you select the open registry and go ahead again, and this time we will be able to do it. And as I already test, this might be the second. No, I didn't publish in Rinkery, maybe. So now we are deploying the new contract, and I don't remember if I should have. Yeah, other thing that I can mention once we get the contract address is that you can also provide, which is the contract that you want to. If you already have your contract deployed, you can specify it here. Let me show you. After this run. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is taking a few seconds more to build the app once again. Okay, we upload the assets to IPFS. We get the first transaction, and we get the transaction hash now here, and we can go ahead and see that the transaction was created, or at least is trying to be included, and now it's included. So we will have the app deployed, published into the registry. So in Rinkery. And now what I would like to show you finally is that you can pass the contract. So if you want to know if you have already the contract because you already deployed, you can go ahead and do contracts, and you can do the network, in our case, Rinkery again, and we can do the verification of ITER-scan. And what will happen here is, let's see if it's working, but yeah. But I tested previously and didn't happen. Yeah, I need to provide the API key. I think I have it someplace here. Let me go ahead and change that really quick. I think it's a second. Okay, try again. And this should be the last step we do. So after that, be done. So here we will try to create a new version as the next version. We are gonna use the previous contracts that we provide, and we are running the app script. This is gonna take some time, but oh yeah, sorry. If I'm using the contract, it's not gonna be verified. So let's not do that now. But so we can check the verification. Okay, this is deploying, and now it will try to verify. Hopefully, we can verify it. And here is verifying in Etherscan. Okay. Yeah, but we need to figure out this. But it should be possible to verify with the Etherscan. But it's like the contract is not being located. But yeah, that was pretty much what I have to show you about the building Aragon apps. But I would like to remark is that I think it's super. The new plugin is super powerful to build Aragon apps more easily, and at the same time have more flexibility, and also have the ability to include several pieces like we saw. We can get the gas reporter and really quickly set it up and have it in our toolbox to keep testing, and I'm sure more and more plugins will be developed using this builder ecosystem, so we can keep hooking new ones. And even, for example, something that is in the lines also is trying to update from Web3 to Ethers, and that should be pretty much changing a few things and make sure it's working. And yeah, but the tooling is already supporting it, so the change will be much more straightforward than it will be other ways. And you can even write tests with other frameworks like the Waffle framework, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So make sure to check out the different the repo that I shared previously to be sure that you can follow the steps of the repo and check out the branches in every step to be sure what is changing, and you can even go ahead and do the diff. And you can even do this that I do with the git diff. You can do it in GitHub, so you can do something like this. But I think in the repo here you can do something like diff. I think is. But maybe I'm not getting it right. No. But yeah, you can also check it in the GitHub UI to make sure what are the changes between the different tags. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Let's keep the discussion in the chats, and if you have questions, I'm open to answer them. Okay, let's keep it up.